Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. Today I'm doing a movie review for a Shudder original called Raven's Hollow. It gets a 5.2 star rating out of 10 on IMDb. It's an hour and 38 minutes. It was written and directed by Christopher Hatton and Chuck Reeves. Good old Chuck was also a writer. And some of the top casts were Melanie Zanetti, William Moseley, who plays Edgar Allan Poe, Kate Dickie, Callum Woodhouse, and David Hyman, who may be the most recognized of the cast. So this story revolves around West Point cadet Edgar Allan Poe and 4 other cadets on a training exercise in upstate New York, which is where I live. They are drawn by a gruesome discovery into a forgotten community. This is a horror thriller. It has 2 main themes. The first is the main story that concerns people being killed by having their hearts torn out by the Raven. And the second is preoccupied by touching on Poe's inspiration for his future as a writer, beating hearts, tick, ravens, tick, etc., etc. And I read that off of somebody else's review for full disclosure. This is a UK film. So it was filmed in the UK and Latvia, and it really didn't feel like they were in upstate New York, even though this is set back in whenever it's set back in 20s. I don't remember if it said. It doesn't matter. I didn't like it. It's slow. It's uninspired acting. They were very stiff, somewhat forced. The British TV movie feel is what I wrote. The looks of the sets are cool and whatnot, like very gothic and that kind of stuff. But they had very inconsistent sound. So when there was music, they made a point to make it very loud because it was so dramatic and it had to be like super loud to create the jump scares, which there weren't any. But then when there was speaking between the characters, everything seemed like it was whispering, but it wasn't. It just was just a really bad job of sound quality editing. And as that little bit of that person's review I read, there are sprinklings, like very loose sprinklings of Poe future stories from Edgar Allan Poe. I didn't think they touched on that enough. I think it would have made for a more interesting movie. This movie is kind of like trying to take a supernatural approach to what the Raven is, and that it's not a man, it's an it, and it did have kind of a neat CGI look to it. And the story itself was kind of cool. The one character that stood out to me, see if I can find her, was Kate Dickie. She plays Elizabeth Ingram. I did like her. She plays the mother of a couple of the characters. If you're like a diehard Poe fan, you may enjoy this movie more than I did. I am a Edgar Allan Poe fan, but not like super diehard. But again, I would have liked to have seen throughout the movie more of him, like maybe taking notes or something. You didn't get any idea that he was going to become an author until the very ending scene, which was what I had wanted more of in the movie. But they like flash forward and age the actor to look like the traditional Edgar Allan Poe that we've all come to know and love. So yeah, I think 5.2 is extremely generous. Again, it just did not feel like these were West Point cadets. It felt like it was a made-for British TV movie that could have been like a 3-part miniseries or something. Just very inconsistent. I wasn't super thrilled with it. Maybe if they had gone darker with the Raven character, I'm not sure. just, anyways, it's on Shudder. If you're a diehard Poe fan and you want to give it a look, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it after you do that. And have a great afternoon.
So have your dream. Go on and sing your song. There's nothing wrong with singing out of tune. If people laugh and say your dream can never be, just think